Hello and welcome to another dice rolling episode of This Ain't No Game. This week, I'm sorry to say, brings us more Uwe Boll awfulness with In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege tale. Following Postal, this is only the second of Uwe Boll's efforts that I've had to suffer through, and I guess I kind of have to give him some credit for his versatility, because if you didn't already know, you'd probably never have imagined that these two movies were made by the same director. The only real constant with Uwe Boll, it seems, is that all his movies are terrible. Now, while Postal went for crass, ham-fisted satire and a generalized air of obnoxiousness, In the Name of the King is a cheap-looking Lord of the Rings knockoff that is so impenetrably dull and self-serious that its only saving graces are the fleeting, unfettered moments of breathtaking overacting provided by Matthew Lillard and Ray Liotta.
Stir things up.
Dungeon Siege was a fairly generic, charm-free, high-fantasy role-playing game, so it shouldn't be terribly surprising that the film based on it would be so determined to hit every conceivable high-fantasy cliché along the way. Starting off with your unlikely, reluctant hero Jason Statham, a beet farmer that's literally named Farmer.
What do you know of a man they call Farmer?
Who must go on a long, tedious-ass quest to save his kidnapped wife from an army of off-brand orcs. It's apparent from his first boomerang throw that Farmer is so very much more than just a farmer, and even the movie seems unsurprised when his big character twist is revealed.
What makes him so special?
Because, Your Majesty, he is your son.
In addition to having his kingdom under siege, King Bert must also contend with his cartoonishly sniveling, conniving nephew, Matthew Lillard, who has his eye on the throne and who is in league with the evil wizard controlling those rubbery-looking not orcs.
Well done. A man with spirit, huh?
Now, I don't know about you, but when I think evil wizard, the first thing that pops into my head is a puffy, Botoxed Ray Liotta in a leather jacket acting like a full-tilt, coked-up psycho.
Life has never been so exciting.
He's laughably awful, but then again, so is every other performance in the movie, and Liotta at least gets some credit for bringing a little energy to the show. Honestly, it's too bad that despite being the main villain, he spends most of the movie hanging out in some kind of magic tornado, only really getting to show off his yelling and crazy face-making talents during the climactic end battle, where he uses the power of flying books to fight Jason Statham. The movie makes a few half-hearted attempts towards subplots, but it's got no follow-through, and it's far more interested in trying to ape the sweeping vista shots and large-scale battles of the Lord of the Rings movies, though on a significantly smaller budget. There are moments where it actually manages a little grandeur, but its ambitions definitely outstrip its means, leaving you with lots of unconvincing battle scenes with characters you either don't know or don't care about. For as little as it actually invests in its characters, it is absolutely baffling how many recognizable actors show up in thankless supporting roles here. It's not too surprising to see sci-fi fantasy staple John Rhys Davies playing the King's head wizard, and there hasn't been much heat on Claire Forlani or Lily Sobieski's careers for a while, but how the hell did Ron Perlman get conned into this? Regardless of the size of their role or the relative state of their career, most everybody looks incredibly uncomfortable in their fake medieval gear, delivering line after line of stilted dialogue.
I will shed this youthful folly in this time of great battle, and I will prove myself a worthy heir.
Still, it's a movie that's better off when it's being grimly serious. The brief moments that the movie aims for levity, such as in this bridge crossing scene, feel like they were made by an alien who had the theory of humor described to it by someone who had once seen a family circus cartoon.
Well, that saved us a lot of time.
In the Name of the King shows more technical craft and production value than many of the movies I've watched for Tang lately, which just makes it that much more depressing that the end result is so bland. It's worse than bad, it's boring.
Where were the King's army when the Krug came killing?
Peasant, do not forget to whom you speak.
In your world, don't you bow before your king.
In my world, the King's army is expected to protect the kingdom. not just the castle.
I'm the king! And that's going to do it for this week's edition of This Ain't No Game. I'm Ryan Davis, reminding you that adding ninjas doesn't necessarily make everything better.